So James, I just spoke to you for a while, and one of the things that I thought inspired me maybe the most is just the fact that you went from, West Baltimore, a neighborhood that people think of as a tough neighborhood now, right? And you managed to find a way into an amazing band with a 25-year career with Teddy Pendergrass, with gold records, platinum albums, Grammy-nominated. Like you made it from that neighborhood. Like help explain why you think that was possible and how that happened for you.
I know it was all about a mindset. I couldn't say mindset back then, but I remember an Ed Sullivan show, and Ed Sullivan introduced the band that all the girls were screaming, and they was landing the airport, and they got off the plane, and it was called The Beatles, and that Ringo Starr was the drummer, and it was just, I was a youngster, and I was watching that. It was so inspiring. I just desired it. And so in my mind, no matter what was going on in the street in Baltimore, in my mind, I wanted to be what they call a bad word today. But I mean, it was just something that I admired the word, a star. I just thought being a star was...
You think that's a bad word now?
Well, ego. It's a narcissistic kind of ego world. You know, you think you're something. You think you're a star. Don't nobody know you. You know what I mean? Right. That's the way the world is. The world of, TikTok and all of the other little places, man, it's all about who knows who, whatever. I don't want to rip nobody off or nothing or talk bad, but I'm just saying I wanted to be that. And it meant esteem. Let's go there. It meant self-esteem. It meant you mean something. You are something. You want to be something. And I went with I wanted to be something, I remember having a job with my grandmother, and it was in a restaurant, and in my mind, she thought I was going to make a career out of it, but all I wanted to work for was a drum stool and a foot pedal. As soon as I got my drum stool and my foot pedal, I was gone. Grandma, I'm finished with this job. I ain't coming back no more. And she got mad.
How old were you?
I must have been 15. Supposed to have been 16, but I looked older for my age. So I remember that,
Yeah.
I was 15, I remember, because I got the drum set at 14, but Mommy and them couldn't get me the stool and the foot pedal that I realized I needed.
Yeah.
I was sitting on a kitchen chair, and I needed to have a real stool, like all of the other professionals, know? And so, So my mindset is and always was and always will be the first place to start. If you can get that mindset, that perception, that idea in your head right, it doesn't matter where you live, you know what I mean? You just... squeeze through the raindrops, don't get wet, don't be affected by the stuff around you,
But, so that came to you naturally, or did you get inspired, not just from what you saw on TV? Do you have friends, family? Was there anybody else pushing you?
That was my DNA. That was in me. That was really in me. I mean, I had more people that didn't believe and that couldn't relate. My father told me one day, man, only James Brown can do that. And I knew, he was in my way, because he, kind of was trying to stop. It felt like he was trying to stop me from thinking the way I was thinking.
Right.
And once I kind of, got through that, I loved him like dearly. But when he was in my way, he was a problem, because deep down inside, I was on a mission, and I did it, and I'm still having fun doing what I do. But it's the bar. It's like needle in the haystack, but the haystack is bigger now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Even harder. But I mean, just the idea and you just shared it with me on the podcast proper a moment ago, but the idea that you would just show up and be backstage and just try to sneak in.
Yeah, walked in boldly.
And you're back a nobody, straight. You're a kid.
Yeah, back straight, walked in, because I'm supposed to be here. I feel good here. And it happened just like that. I felt good being here. This was my area. This was my place of comfort. Backstage felt, because I would see the people go in the backstage, then I run back around front and get my little $6 ticket.
Mm-hmm.
But that backstage door was the place. It was something. That's where I was supposed to be. And when you know where you're supposed to be in life, and you know where you want to be, and oh my God, that is the biggest part of the battle, You got grown people trying to figure out what they want to be when they grow up.
Yeah.
And God bless them, you know, because things happen the way they happen, you know. Like whatever happens to you, if you always have a great mindset, you're coming through it. You're coming through.
That's incredible. I don't know what to add to that other than I've seen enough people that aren't satisfied and have no passion and don't feel the purpose, and they're where they are today because they thought they were supposed to be, not because they felt that burning desire that that's where I belong. And I used to be in medical sales, and so I would see that firsthand from doctors, because by the time they had it, you know, they were first in their class top, they were just pushed, right? Yeah, this is where you're supposed to be. And then by the time they're an adult, there's so much education, and they were stuck. And they felt, some of them, not all of them, right? But some of them felt this wasn't for me. And what am I going to do now? Look at what I've just spent 15 years doing. And it's just inspiring to see that you knew early and you just went for it.
Inspiring is a good word, because I got a friend, Glenn Baidoon. He was a firefighter, made it to be a chief. He made chief. And our conversations today is about homes and houses. He had like a $1.5 million house. But he started at a house in Bowie, and I walked in his house and I said, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And he said, this is nice, but it's not even my dream home. I'm like, I thought he was being smart.
Yeah.
Because I was in an apartment. And he's talking about this is not even his dream home, but he got his dream home. It's down in Crofton. Oh my goodness. He made me a believer. Anything we talk about, he qualified himself because he had this house built from the ground. Right. He's bought ground. This is inspiring. This is what inspires me and keeps me going today. He bought the ground. He said, I bought every screw, every nail, every window frame I purchased.
Yeah.
And I said where I want stuff. He drew it out. He built upon the blueprint.
Right.
Wow, and there's the home built, man.
He visioned it first. Yeah. And he built it.
Yeah, so
and what's the old saying? It's like, where does something get built first? It gets built up here.
In the mind.
Yeah.
I'm real happy about having people around me like that. You don't need a million. You don't need a million. Two good people. That's why I call you every now and then. What's going on, man? How you feeling? Just to hear a good word. When I was in the hospital, I would ask the nurse one thing. People come in there and they'd be giving you medicine and taking your pressure. And I said, nurse, I have a question. And they're like, what's up, Mr. Carter? How many people do you know made it through this? Oh, many people have made it. Well, give me one. I knew a man one time that came through and I'm like, thank you. That's all I needed. And I would drill them all the time, man. You have to tell me more than medicine. Give me some results. So I learned how to use inspiration. I learned how to use the newspaper. I learned how to use the billboard. I just learned how to use all of that stuff and turn it within and become just a very positive person, man, about that.
Well, that's something that doesn't cost anything.
No.
I think all of us need to use a lot more of it and a lot less of the negativity that we get pumped every day.